Everyone who goes looking for a Stardew Valley challenge always finds completing the community center in 1 year. It's been done hundreds of times, even for Concern Day to add the option to guarantee completion in 1 year. One Stardew Valley challenge I saw and enjoyed was Wand of Sparking's completing perfection in 2 years. Now, I don't have the time to play an entire perfection run, so I cut it down a bit. Here's where the fish come in. Most fish have a certain season, location, and required level to catch them, and some are almost impossible to get in year 1. But it is possible, and at least I think so. So, join me on my journey to catch every fish in Stardew Valley in 1 year. Starting on Spring 1, I don't have a fishing rod yet and I can't get one until tomorrow. So I spend the day clearing my farm and planting my free parsnip seeds. I also get a potato and a cauliflower from the mixed seeds, so I only have to buy a single green bean from Pierre's to complete the spring crops bundle later. I also go looking for forage, finding 3 of the 4 spring forage to give to the community center later. Then I go to sleep and move on to day 2. After watering my parsnips, I head down to the beach to pick up my fish around for Willie, finding a daffodil on the way. The first fish I catch is a sardine, followed by a halibut, a flounder, and then an anchovy. The only other fish I need from the ocean now is the herring, but I can get it later, so I move on to the river and get a smallmouth bass and a sunfish. I also get a dwarvish helm from a geode to donate to the museum. Speaking of the museum, I need to donate 60 things over the course of the year so I can unlock the sewer. I also need to complete either the community center or the Joja development plan. I didn't select the option to guarantee completion in 1 year, so I'm basically required to pay for the Joja plan. I then headed up to the mountain lake and caught a chub, carp, and green algae. Both types of algae and seaweed are on the fishing collection page, so I need to get them too. Then I went back to the river to catch a brim, and then went to bed. On day 3 it's raining, so I went to catch the 3 rain-specific fish in the spring: the shad, catfish, and eel. I started in the river, catching a shad and a catfish at fishing level 2. I moved to the mountain lake to catch a bullhead until it's 4 PM, when the eel comes out to play. I catch one as soon as it hits 4, so I can continue fishing in the ocean for more. Around 8, I head over to the river to catch more catfish for some money, until I hit the hay. Day 4 is more of the same, fishing at the beach to try for a herring. I got another artifact and got a few more geodes to give me some minerals, which is nice. I plant the cauliflower I got from the museum, and then head back down to the beach to continue to try for a herring. I got one pretty quick, so I moved up to the mountain lake to try for a largemouth bass. I didn't get one today, but they're available at all times during all seasons, so I'm not worried about it, so I went to bed. Day 5 is when the mines open, and also when I get my cat. Fishing 4 already on Spring 5. I think I have to keep with the trend that was already going. English moment. Littler guy. My parsnips are also done, so I kept one and sold the rest. In the mines, I managed to get enough copper to make a furnace and upgrade my pick while also getting to floor 20. Before bed, I made all the copper for the next day. The first thing I do on day 6, I just crack my geodes, upgrade my pick, and donate all my new things to the museum. Then I'm back to largemouth bass fishing while also smelting my copper. I did get one today, so I spent my time fishing for some extra funds. On day 7, I unlocked the community center and tried to meet everyone in town for some extra money, which took all day. Day 8, I turned in all my spring forage and my parsnip and potato. I also picked up my pickaxe from Clint and spent the rest of the day looking for artifacts and clearing my farm. Day 9, I went back to the mines to get a little bit further. My goal is to be at the bottom of the mines at the end of spring, and I have a pretty good start right now. An extra bonus with mining is get all the bug meat, which I can use to craft bait later. I made it down to floor 45 today, so now I need iron to get a better pick. Day 10, I cracked my geodes and went mining. The next few days are the same thing, so I'll just skip around to the good parts. There was this one time where I had to kill a whole floor's worth of enemies with less than 10 health, and somehow did it to get to floor 60. I also started to set up some sprinklers, which is for strawberries, so I buy a lot of them at the egg festival. The next day I turned my cauliflower to the center. The reason I'm doing parts of the community center is to unlock the vault. The vault is a little bit cheaper if you do it through the center, so it's worth it in the end. I also eventually figure out the boiler room, which is really easy too, so I plan to finish those 2 rooms before changing to Joja. I did upgrade my pickaxe again, but after that's done it's back to mining. While my pick was upgrading though, I went fishing in the mines and caught a ghost fish. More mining, and then I complete the boiler room. The minecarts are very helpful for my current mining adventures, plus I won't have to pay for it later. I took a day to get some housekeeping done, like repairing the bridge on the beach, but then it's right back to grinding the mines. After reaching floor 100, I upgraded my pick to gold and spent the rest of the day fishing for money again. I made a bunch more sprinklers, so while I have the time in the month, I bought some kale to sell. You might have noticed I didn't buy the backpack upgrade, and I don't plan on it for a while. I decided to make do with my 12 slots until Joja is completely done, so I can put all my money towards that. Finally, on Tuesday the 23rd of spring, I reached the bottom of the mines and got the skull key. I made some more sprinklers because in summer I know I'm going to need a lot to make my 145,000 gold. Most of my time now is spent fishing for money. I also set up a crab pot to start getting all the crab pot fish too. When spring is over, I'm sitting at 20 of the 67 fish, level 8 fishing, and a good start on the museum. Once summer starts, I place a few more sprinklers and fill them all in with blueberries, plus planting the extra seeds I need for along the way. I closed off day 1 by buying the 10,000 and 5,000 gold bundles. The 5,000 gold bundle is nice, but the 10,000 one is extremely important, but you'll see why later. Just know that the lightning rod is a very important item in this challenge. On day 2, I started on the summer fish, catching a tuna, red mullet, tilapia, and a few geodes and artifacts, including a dinosaur egg. I know this is going to infuriate a lot of people, but instead of hatching it, I just turned it in. I don't need a coop for any fish, so hatching dinos is not really important to me. I went back down to the beach, specifically to the right side past the bridge. I caught a pufferfish and a few other random fish, but I'm sure you know why I'm here. After a few failed attempts at the crimson fish, I caught it, giving me the first of the 5 legendary fish. I spent the rest of the day fishing for money, also getting a super cucumber after dark. The next day I fished in the mountain lake, catching a sturgeon and a rainbow trout. And then it's down in the forest river, catching a pike, but not the fish I'm looking for. That fish is a dorado, and I think it is the most useless fish in the entire game. It's not used in any bundles or any quests, so the only thing it's good for is selling. But I still have to catch it anyway. I finished the day by farming bug meat for bait, and wake up the next day to get a periwinkle from the crab pot, and then to upgrade my axe. And then it's back to fishing in the river for this stupid fish. It's not even easy to catch. It's a hard fish that is completely useless, but I catch it anyway. Then I farm bugs again and go to sleep. There's only a few more fish I need to catch in summer, but most of them are locked behind rain, so I'm trying to catch the only one that isn't, the octopus. In between my attempts to get it, I get a crawfish from the crab pot and finish the vault room. It was raining on day 6, so I moved my crab pot to the ocean and started fishing. After catching the red snapper, I cracked a few geodes and chopped some hardwood with my axe, which is helpful later. It was also raining the next day, and I finally got my octopus. I then went back to hardwood farming and bought a battery pack from the traveling cart. I also went into the skull cavern since I unlocked the bus with the vault room. Now, I was very vague about the lightning rod and the hardwood from before, and the iridium I'm getting from the cavern is also a part of this. You might have already figured it out, but I'm going to Ginger Island. Not only are there 3 fish that I have to catch there, but I had to skip over the legend fish in spring. So my plan is to unlock Key's Walnut Room and buy magic bait to go back to it. So I need 5 battery packs, 5 iridium boards, and 200 hardwood to rebuild the boat. Most of my days now are farming in secret woods and then mining the skull cavern. One day though, I caught a wood skip because I almost completely forgot I needed it. I'm still cracking my geodes and also upgrade my axe to iron because the big logs give 8 hardwood each, which is a huge amount compared to the normal 2 stumps give. After only 3 days of mining for iridium, I have enough for all 5 bars. I get an oyster from the crab pot the next day, and then spend the rest of it chopping big logs and also buying a JoJo membership and catching a lava eel. The next day I get the ice pip and the stonefish, then go to the desert to catch the standfish and the scorpion carp. After a day and a half of trying, I get both, and then I don't have to go to the desert ever again. Hopefully. I spend more time fishing for money, and the next day, I buy panning from JoJo and get a crab from the crab pots. On Sunday I get my first blueberry harvest and get a cockle from the crab pots, then fish for money. Most of summer is like this, with every couple days buying something from a JoJo until it's finished. Sometimes buying the backpack upgrades too. I also get a mussel and a lobster from the crab pots, and then go into the sewer to catch my second legendary fish, the mutant carp. I also start to give Robin spaghetti for some golden walnuts later. She gives you flute blocks, and because I couldn't find a bone flute, I can get some from her at 6 hearts. I get the final crab pot fish, the shrimp, and then wait a day for it not to be raining so I can attend the JoJo ceremony to unlock the boat to Ginger Island. This also unlocks the mutant bug lair and the witch's swamp, so I use them to get a slime jack and a void salmon. Assuming I get access to the boat, so I turn all my things in and head to the island. I need to get 100 walnuts to unlock the walnut room, so that's going to be my main focus for a while. I can't do the quest from Birdie because the first person to visit is Kent, who only comes the first day of year 2. I also can't do the second and third parts from the Gourmand frog because garlic is a year 2 only crop. I also lost my sword on day 1 on the island because I didn't think tiger slimes did 25 damage a hit. Once again, I recorded Simon Says puzzle on my phone, and then I caught the lionfish and then headed into the volcano dungeon. I get to the top eventually and get my prismatic shard, which I take to the desert to get a galaxy sword, as well as 256 beet seeds. All of the single harvest crops on Ginger Island have a chance to give a walnut, up to 5 of them. So I buy enough beets to basically guarantee all of them. Before I head back to the island though, I pick up all my sprinklers so I can grow the beets. I can't go back though because the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies is happening, so I just finished summer at the farm. At the end of summer, I have 49 of the 67 fish, but at least now I have fishing level 10, and I don't have to worry about artifacts and minerals anymore. As soon as fall starts, I head to the island to plant the beets, which takes all day. The next day I'm back in the volcano looking for dragon teeth. I still need to get a lot of walnuts, so my plan for 3 of them is to buy a banana tree from the island trader and then give the banana to the stand in the forest. The only downside is that it takes a month for the tree to grow. After getting all 5 teeth, I died and caught a blue discus. I grinded the volcano for a few more days for walnuts and then spent a few to unlock the bone quarry. I got a few golden coconuts from the quarry, so the next day I cracked them open and got a walnut and some other garbage. I also found the mummified frog and bat and gave them to the tent. I finally bought my banana tree and went down to the mainland to catch the rest of the fall fish. I started in the river and got a salmon and anglerfish, legendary fish number 3. I caught a tiger trout and then moved to the beach to catch an albacore, and then the lake to get a midnight carp. I went back to the island because my beets were done, and after harvesting, I got all 5 of the walnuts from farming. One more trip to the volcano dungeon gives me enough walnuts to rebuild the resort, which unlocks the island east. I would do the pirates the next day, but it's raining, so I need to find the gem bird that spawned. It's a little bit annoying that it rained today because I still don't have my flute blocks from ramen, so I can't do the mermaid puzzle. I found a topaz in the forest, so went to the shrine and brute forced the rest of the gems. And then I moved on to the Pirate's Cove to catch a stingray, getting another 3 walnuts on the way. I head back to the mainland to catch a sea cucumber, then head back to the island to talk to the gourmand frog because my melon has finally finished growing, which is another 5 walnuts. In my planning, I didn't think about using any of the other skeletons and the 2 small ones, but I decided to try to complete the big animal, so I wouldn't have to wait for the banana tree to grow. I already have the ribs and legs, so I fished for the spine and panned for the tail. I did a volcano trip in between bone finding and lost almost 9,000 golds worth of items. But I got the head from old coconut eventually, so that's plus 6 more walnuts. Later the pirates finally showed up, so I did the darts game to get an extra 3. After that, I'm at 96 of the 100 required walnuts, so all I have to do now is get the flute block from Robin. I literally don't have anything else I can do in fall until then, so I just skip some days to give Robin gifts until I get the recipe. In between those days, I visited the Stardew Valley Fair to get another star drop, even if I won't need very much energy from now on. Still fucking got it, bitch. I finally get the 6 hearts with Robin, so I craft my 5 flute blocks and then head to the island to wait for rain. It also hasn't rained on the mainland since the beginning of fall, so for the first rain in 3 weeks, I try to catch a walleye, and do pretty easily. After skipping a few more days, it's raining on the island and I can finally get my final 5 walnuts. Inside the walnut room, I have a choice. My 2 quest options are Key's Prismatic Grange or the Skull Cavern Invasion. I only have a gold pickaxe and no hammer, so I can't really get to floor 100 in Skull Cavern even without the difficult monsters. Key's Prismatic Grange is pretty easy because all I have to do is give 100 different color items to Mr. Key. I already have 100 copper ore for orange and 100 sap for yellow, and it's really easy to get 100 fiber for green, so all I need is red, blue, and purple. For purple, I grab the few iridium ore I have in my chest and farm bug meat, which counts as purple for some reason. Red and blue are very similar. I buy spaghetti from the saloon for red and Joja Cola from the Joja Mart to get blue. When I turn it in though, I'm missing 1 purple item, so I grab a dragon tooth from my chest just to remember what I said in my last Stardew Valley video I made, that dragon teeth are counted as orange for some godforsaken reason, so I run all the way back to the volcano to mine 1 single iridium ore to finish the quest. I get 35 key gems from that, so I spend them all to get some magic bait and then run back to the mainland to get the legend fish. While I was trying to catch it though, I noticed that I caught a lingcod, something that's only available in winter. So I thought, why don't I try to finish this challenge in only the first 3 months? I also caught a perch, so that's 2 of the winter fish down. After half the day of trying and 4,000 gold worth of fishing buffs, I caught the legend 2 months late. Now there's only 1 legendary fish left, the glacier fish, so I go down to the river and catch it on my second try. All that's left is a few ocean fish, including the 3 deep-sea submarine fish. I don't know how well known this is, but you can catch the deep-sea fish outside of the submarine. All you have to do is have the bobber near the Lonely Stone. I caught a squid the morning of the last day of the season, followed by a blobfish, then a spookfish, and then finally, to finish my collection, a midnight squid. And then that, my friends, is all 67 fish in Stardew Valley caught in a single year. Not even a single year, only 3 months. Some of you may know of the other 5 legendary fish, and I tried to get that quest till the end of winter, but I couldn't get it, so I just ignored them. The reason is because they're not on the collections page, so I really could not care any less. Yell at me in the comments if you really want to. This is Better Willie checking out. Peace. By the way, this video was chosen by you in a poll I made. If you have any other ideas for a challenge you would like to see, comment them below.